this stoplight's basically the entirety of the town.
I'm from rural Kentucky. I grew up in a small town called Eminence, and it's in Henry County, Kentucky.
The population of Henry County is like right at 11,000, and I think I could name all 11,000 to you. I'm not kidding. My mom's med school graduation photo, and that was like the biggest day of her entire life. She is the only female doctor in Henry County. And my dad was a trooper at Post 5 in Camelsburg.
I don't know why I necessarily didn't have Wi-Fi. I'm like 35 minutes from Louisville, so you'd think it would reach me. But basically, I remember it started becoming a thing where you could like get it in your home, and my mom and dad looked into that, but it ended like, I think 50 yards from our like property line. To extend it, it would be like another $3,500, $4,000. So I grew up predominantly without Wi-Fi. I didn't have a television. I had a VCR tape thing, but other than that, it was pretty much technology free.
What we do with internet access, it's the basic building block of how, technology works. You can have computers that aren't networked together and they're kind of useless. So you have to have something to tie them all together, and that's typically the internet.
When COVID happened and we had to go to NTI learning, it was like a really big problem because so much of my county doesn't have Wi-Fi. We couldn't do Zoom or like Google Classroom, so we had like paper packets sent home with us, and you'd pick them up the Sunday of each week, and it would be a packet full of work. This is the McDonald's. I was gonna take you up here. This is where I would literally park in this parking lot and do all of my homework because I had no other access. I remember my dad ended up working in education, and he had gotten a new job, and they had given him a hotspot, and it's like a little box that you like turn on, and it serves as Wi-Fi for so many gigabytes before it turns off. And when my dad got that, that was life-changing for my family because, we could for the first time like do work from home or kind of do, save files, anything of the sort that you wouldn't think of. Like, it was like the very first time we were able to experience that, and it was such a relief because if you think about the costs of like traveling to Wi-Fi, your gas, your mileage on your car, things of that nature, like it really does add up, and I think there's a lot that goes into it people don't realize.
At the individual level, people having access to good, reliable internet, there's not much that can be bad for telehealth. Being able to hop on a Zoom call that, isn't choppy or blocky, pixelated. So somebody that might have a 1992 S10 truck and they're trying to drive it 3 hours down into Lexington, that's a bit of an investment in time and energy and money for them if their vehicle will even make it. I did a lot of programming back when I was a kid. If I would have had more exposure to stuff, I could probably got started out on my path a little bit earlier, not had so many stumbling blocks by just being able to easily communicate with people outside of my holler.
It's just such an integral part of our life today, and I don't think very many people like consider that. Like, a lot of news apps and media services in that sense are like through your apps on your phone. You need Wi-Fi for those, or like the My Chart for a doctor's appointment. To be able to do simple things like that and update your chart for your medical records or anything of the sort, it's like going to the library to connect to those things. And I think it really does disadvantage you, not just from an educational standpoint, but just like cultural and connectivity.
If you have a person there that that wants to pursue an education, pursue a job that requires, that's not in that area, they have to go elsewhere to be able to pursue that. So they have to leave. When you leave, that causes financial problems for the local area because that money is moved out of Kentucky somewhere else, and it also affects the economy. The person that lives there, housing, buying groceries, gas, things like that, when they leave, that money goes with them, which causes an economic issue.
We don't have a printer or a computer or nothing, so for my dad to print out his work schedule every Monday of the week, he comes here and prints his work schedule on paper for 10 cents, and he's done that every day for 20 years. It kind of makes me want to cry a little bit. It's just hard because it's like you're shamed to be from a place like this and you're told to never come back, but then you abandon everything you've ever had, and then nothing gets poured into the community. And that's why we have abandoned strip malls and abandoned main streets, because no one wants to come back. You see it in our healthcare and our education systems. It's just bottom tier, and it's because no one takes the time to really be that for the next generation. There's this saying that they taught us in high school. It's called brain drain. And it's like, you're grown up in this underprivileged town, and as soon as you get out of high school, everyone teaches you to get out, leave, go as far as you can, go to school, work somewhere else. Like, no one wants to come back. We spend our 4 years in college, and then we are kind of at this crossroads of, do we go home? Where do we get a job? And everyone who's ever built a life for themselves through education or career choices doesn't come back, and it quite literally drains rural communities of any potential or privilege from these really educated, smart people that are from these towns, because they feel like going back is a disservice. And I kind of decided I wanted to, after school, come back to Henry County and be the person that this place hasn't had in a long time. I want to advocate for people who can't pay for legal work, and I want to be someone that can make a difference in other people's lives. And I think just because you get a JD or an MD or anything, a PhD, you shouldn't neglect your roots and your family and your culture. And I think it's really important to serve the people that built you to the place you're at. And I really want to be that for other people. I think everything that I've become is accumulation of everyone else in my life, and they've served me, and I think it's my turn to serve this community. And I love Henry County. I'm a proud Kentuckian.
If the infrastructure could be set up properly and access is given to the communities, then I believe you could see a growth in outreach from an economic development standpoint. Factories can move in. From people staying in their areas. A lot of people, they've raised there all their lives and they don't want to leave.
There's some of the most intelligent and creative people that I've ever met. And you've got, 100 years of music talent there in Eastern Kentucky, the artistry, and just the craftspeople that live there, carpenters, miners, all of that is you don't just pick it up and run with it. It takes a lot of time and energy to become good at any of those trades. The internet's allowed a lot of people, TikTok's a good example of people back in those areas getting their crafts out, musical talents.
I think the biggest thing that they get a misunderstanding about from a broadband perspective, an internet perspective, is that they think that they're not willing to accept it and that they don't want it. They look by and they say, well, there's no need of having internet access here, but that's a very bad misconception. Everyone that I've spoken with, even with the people in my research, a lot of people are very interested in receiving this. They've actually had communities and municipalities that have actually said, okay, we'll provide the funding to build the infrastructures here. We'll provide the money here. Come help us set the infrastructure, and then we'll take it over from here and we'll get it out to the community, which is great.
Everyone deserves a level playing field, and everyone deserves the resources they need to be able to tune into educational Zooms, to work from home, to do whatever they need. I think that Appalachia and Kentucky in general have been neglected for a long time. It's just such an impoverished region, and the opioid epidemic is at an all-time high for Kentucky. And I think it's just a call to action that we need legislators, executive officials, we need resources, whether that comes from lobbying firms or anything of that nature, to just stand up and make a difference.